So let me know if you're on. If you guys are on, say hello. Say hello. Let me know where you're from. If you're watching the replay, just write replay. I'm excited. I'm excited today because today's word, prophetic word, God says, break free from the prison of comparison. Y'all, the prison of comparison is where many people are right now. So like I said, as you come in, let me know where you guys are from. I just dropped it. South Africa. Look, is it Five-Way? Hey, Five-Way, how's it going? So yeah, I'll be here for Wednesday. Now God he's really sharpening my gifts now to understand which one is a teaching that should be on Clubhouse and which one is a prophetic word that should be on Facebook. So y'all, I got it now. I know the difference. At first it was confusing trying to figure it out. Hey, Alyssa, I hope you're not at work. Look, I hope we haven't distracted you too much today because it's been a lot going on. Y'all, I'm about to drop the link tree. If you guys haven't gotten connected, God is doing a lot of things with our ministry, Journey to the Kingdom. So if you have not gotten connected to Journey to the Kingdom, I'm dropping the link tree. Everything you need, get connected, community, just resources, freebies, everything that you could need when it comes to your walk with God, starting a ministry or a business with God. Everything is there. So I know today we at 3 o'clock. So today is at 3 o'clock, and I usually pick my son up around 3:30. So today is one of those words where it's, hey, Brittany, how's it going? I'm done until Friday. Okay, good, Alyssa. I know everybody been chit-chatting and everything, but I just dropped the link in our Telegram chat. Again, click my link tree because God is moving right now. He is doing a lot of things with Journey to the Kingdom. It's not me, it's him, y'all. So if you haven't gotten connected, because he uses me here on Facebook for prophetic words, but it's a whole ministry, it's a whole movement, it's a whole tribe of women who are sharpening their gifts right now. Y'all, click the link tree, check it out, get connected, because I know God is doing some things right now. So like I said, today's title, God says break free from the prison of comparison. And I put this up on my status where, what did my status say? I can't remember what it said. Hold on, my music off. I gotta listen to this. Y'all know I'm in my head. I am a warrior in God's army in my brain, in my head, so I gotta put this on. But I put it up that said, and I forgot what I said. I'm gonna go read it because I'm gonna link it to this video and connect it. The fastest way to kill something special is to compare it to something else. And that's where I got today's word of this comparison. Because you compare yourself to something else. You compare yourself to somebody else. You don't really see yourself for who you are and who God created you to be because you compare yourself to other people. And so that's where this word came from. I heard God say that his people needed to hear it and that they were dying in these prisons. So we're going to get into it. So I'm going to pray. So Father God, I come to you today, Lord. Lord, decrease me, increase you. I pray right now that you put the words in my mouth to show the people who, wait, I'm hearing names. Sorry, y'all. Here we go. For y'all who know me on Clubhouse, popping out the prayer. I'm popping out the prayer because I gotta add these people. We got Shonda, we got Nisha, we got Amber. But this is how my brain works. Okay. So Lord, I pray, decrease me, increase you, that you put the words in my mouth to speak to whoever needs to hear it, that it comes out clearly as possible so that people understand what it is that they need to do to break out the prison of comparison that is holding them back from becoming everything that you have called them and created them to be. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. All right, y'all. So we ping some people. We ask some people in. Today's word, the prison of comparison. We think about prison. You locked in, you trapped in, you stuck there. And this is what God started to show me, that many of his people are trapped in this prison of comparison. So God is doing something different with me. He has me doing, like, my time with him is different right now. So I'm going to give y'all the overview of what happened. Because at the end of the day, you got to see it from the beginning part of what it is that he had me kind of flow through to get to the point of where I was able to see that people were in this prison of comparison. And when I talk about it, it was as if it was just lines and lines of people who were just stuck where it was your time. It was time for you to step out. It was time for you to show up. But because it's not even that the enemy has caused you. Now, he has tried to keep you there, but it's as if you agreed to it. So now people are stuck in this prison of comparison. So I woke up in the morning and I heard the Lord tell me, open up the Bible, and he led me to Psalms 119, 145 through 148, New King James Version. So he led me there. And when I went down to read it to you guys, it says, I cry out with my whole heart. Hear me, O Lord. I will keep your statutes. I will cry out to you. Save me, and I will keep your testimonies. I rise before the dawning of the morning and cry for help. I hope in your word. My eyes are awake through the night watches, that I may meditate on your word. So I'm in there, and he leaves me here in the word. And so I'm like, all right, cool, God. This is where we are. And so I start to pray, but he tells me instead of praying, and for those who are coming on, let me know where you guys are from. I'm going back because he led me to Psalms 119, 145 through 148, and he told me to sing it, not to read it, not to meditate on it. He told me to sing the word back to him. So in that moment, I'm like, okay, this is new, this is different. Again, God is doing a new thing. He's shaking up the routine. He's not having you do things like you used to do. So he told me to sing it. So as I'm singing it, I'm seeing the vision of everything that's happening. So I'm gonna look at because this vision was weird. I start to sing it, and I sing it back to him, and I started talking about, hey Ariel, how's it going? So as I'm singing, this has nothing to do about it, but as I'm singing, it's as if I'm singing it to him, and I start to bring up comparison while I'm singing to him. And so I saw a vision of myself in a jail cell. Now I'm gonna give y'all a vision, and I'm gonna tell you what happened afterwards. So I see myself in this jail cell as I'm singing, and I'm talking about comparison. And I began to hear him tell me, break comparison. So this is for people right now. A lot of people, you in this jail cell, you comparing yourself to other people, you comparing your gifts to other people, you comparing who God created you to be to other people, and it's trapping you in this jail cell. So I'm breaking comparison off my life when it comes to gifts, talents, calling, all of these things. And we're going to get to it in a second. So as I'm breaking this off my life, somebody comes to the door, and I begin to walk out. I'm free because I broke it. I no longer was in agreement with comparison. I no longer was in this jail cell. And it could be anything. You can compare your family, your kids, your whatever. It could be any type of comparison. You could be in a jail of condemnation where you keep condemning yourself on something you did in the past. But you got to get to a point where you open your mouth and break yourself out of that, whatever jail you're in. So I see somebody walk out. They walk to the door. And as I'm walking out, I saw so many believers in jail cells. It was so many people who were trapped in cells. They were literally, the amount of believers right now who are not operating at their full capacity of who God created you to be, of where you should be. You are nowhere near operating because you keep comparing yourself to other people. And as I'm walking through this jail cell, because as I'm breaking it, we got to get to a point where we're in prayer and we know that this is an issue and we break it. Because as I was praying and singing, I'm like, in that time where he led me to sing, I don't even remember the song, y'all, but I started to break the spirit of comparison off of me. Because one thing about me, I always say this. I always say, well, I'm not like other prophetic people, which I'm not. But at the end of the day, he started to remind me, I did not create you to be like everybody else. I did not call you to be, just like for you, who you watching it right now, you watching a replay. You are not meant to be like everybody else. You have your own fingerprint. You have your own ID number. You have your own social security number. God created you to do what you do the way that you do for a reason. And so right now, that's where I saw people. People who compare themselves to other people, appearance, gifts, talents, jobs, kids, family, all of these things. What's your prison? And you got to be honest with yourself and say, wait, what prison have I put myself in? Because that's what I saw. It was as if the enemy is wanting you to think and compare yourself. If he can't get to you to complain, he's going to get you to your self-esteem. We talked about this on my Facebook on a Clubhouse a while ago, where we went deeper into self-esteem and self-worth and all of these things. So now he's going to have you doubt yourself, because if you doubt who you are, you never rise up to be who God created you to be. So as I'm walking, y'all, I don't know how this hallway was so long in this jail. This was the longest hallway I walked down in my life. And I'm just looking around, and it's just so many people downtrodden. Just down. So many people in jail cells. Just looking down because they put themselves in a jail cell. Today is a day where you get up today, you going to pray after we get off of this. You pray after you watch this. You wake up tomorrow morning and go break comparison off of you. If you got to go back and read Psalms 119, somebody put it in the chat. I think I can write it. I can't write it. It's acting up. But You got to go and do the work. You got to open your mouth and break it off of you. You got to go to God and say, no longer will I allow this comparison or the spirit of comparison to keep me stuck where I am. So I'm walking through. I see all these people in jail cells. So many believers who are not operating and functioning the way that God needs you to be because of the comparison. So as I'm going through, what happened? People just in the cells. They were there. And you will never become, he said, you will never become who he created you to be if you keep your true self locked in the prison. And that's what it was. It was the real you. It was the true you. The enemy wants you to have this facade, this fake version of you, this version that you think everybody wants to see of you, this version that is just this made up version in your mind of what you think you're supposed to be. And God is like, be you. Be okay with who I created you to be. Be okay with how you look, how you sound, how you feel, whatever. Whatever it is your genetic makeup that he created you to be. And so, going back, for me, I didn't grow up around fivefold. I didn't grow up around prophetic. I literally just got called by God 3 years ago. So I've been learning as I go from something that I don't even know about. But all I see is your typical prophetic person. And God is like, you know what? Scratch all of it, Johanna. Scratch all of it. Act like you don't even know any of that and go move the way that I told you to move. So whatever it is that's holding you back, scratch what you've seen. Because God doing something different. Scratch what you already know. Scratch all. Literally, take a piece of paper, put an X on it. Scratch what you've already seen. Because he's doing something different. He's using you in a different way. He's making you do, like, literally, really renew your mind to say, God is using me in a new, fresh way. I have a new, fresh anointing. I am not like everybody else. I really feel this for you, Shonda. Like, you got to understand that he is doing this in you in a new way, in a fresh way. You don't need to go to school. You don't need to be all of these, whatever. I was talking to somebody the other day, like, she was saying that she didn't want to step out and do what God was telling her to do because she didn't have a title. But it's like at the end of the day, if God told you to do it, you step out and do it. So this is where we are in this season where God is like, yeah, look, unusual anointing. And that's why God, I was sitting there and I used to be like, well, I don't really know what it is. But he was telling me, he was like, no, Johanna, the way that I use you is the way that people always say. You literally fly up and you just look down and you could just see whatever it is. You literally are just flying around. This is why most people are like, you've been in my journal. You were in my bedroom. You were in my notebook. And it took me a while to understand that because at the end of the day, it was like, because I didn't grow up around fivefold. I didn't grow up around prophetic, so all I see is what you see. But that unusual anointing is what God needs every single one of you who are on here, who will watch the replay. I'm going to put this on YouTube. If you get what I'm saying, let me know. But you got to think, what is your prison? Let me know in the, like, we got to be real. Y'all know I'm big on transparency and being transparent. What prison have you put yourself in? If you watch it on YouTube, put it in the comments. If you watch it on Facebook right now, what prison have you put yourself in? Because at the end of the day, the enemy can sit there and he can feed lies. But we put ourselves in that. Unusual anointing, unusual acceleration. Look at that. I think I just put on my Facebook status, unusual acceleration this week on Monday, Alyssa. Now we're talking about unusual anointing. And then we talked about unusual. Look, y'all. I keep saying it. God is doing a new thing. He's doing a new thing. You are different. Yes. He didn't call you to be like everybody else. And it took me a while to get that, y'all. I'm telling y'all after I walked through it. Look. I'm telling y'all afterwards. But at the end of the day, I'm at a place now where I can accept who I am, who God created me to be, how he created me to operate, what he created me to do. You know, I used to get like a little something because people used to be like, oh, you're so bossy. Guess what? I'm meant to be bossy. I mean, not bossy in a bad way, but that's authority. Like I was meant to be like this. You are supposed to be the way that you are, unless the enemy trying to play with you. Prison of comparison. You see, like, how many people are in that prison of comparison? And the way that I got out of it is I opened my mouth. And I had to break it, and I had to free myself. I wish I could remember what I was saying, y'all. I really don't know. But I really was just saying, I break free of this prison of comparison. It's written on my paper here. The prison, and that is exactly what he said. So I walked to the counter. We still in this vision, y'all. I got to pick my son up at like 3:30, but I walk, and again, I got to go back. The prison of comparison, it doesn't need to be with your gifts. It can be with your appearance. It can be with how you look. It can be with what you did in the past. It can be anything, but you just know that you've put yourself in that place. That's what you got to break out of. And you won't shift. You won't change. You won't step into everything that God has for you until you break free of that prison. I'm telling y'all, it doesn't matter. I can go do everything God called me to do, but until I break free of the prison that I was in, I wouldn't be able to flow the way that I'm supposed to flow. So I walked to the counter and I took out a card or an ID, and they scanned my card, and I saw Johanna pop up. And it turned green, and it said access granted. So what God was showing me is that it was as if I got to a point where it was like, yes, like you've been able to break free. You out of this, you out this jam. You out of the jam, out of this prison that you have been in. And y'all, if you like me and you call to me in the sound of my voice, you have probably dealt with low self-esteem. You've probably compared yourself, your appearance, all those things from childhood, since you were little. So just imagine being in this prison for so long. The people I saw, it looked like they were there for a while. We all been there for a while. But he is doing a new thing right now. That you may have been in this prison. I'm 33. I've been in this prison for 33 years, serving all this time for no reason. All I had to do was open my mouth and break myself out of it. And I had to not just break myself out of it, but believe that God called me to be who I am, that God created me to move the way that I am. So that's really what it was, because my name popped up and it was like, yes, access granted to get out of this space. So it turned green, access granted, and I put on this hoodie. And I don't know why I had a hoodie on, y'all, but I put this hoodie on and it had wings on the back. And I walked out the door and I began to fly and I began to soar. And I'm looking up. It was as if I was in the vision, looking at myself in the vision. Y'all be having some crazy visions. But I'm in the vision, looking at myself in the vision. And as I put this hoodie on with these wings, I start to fly. I start to soar. And this is what's going to be like for you when you break free. When you break yourself out of the prison of comparison or whatever prison you've put yourself in. Because I'm going to say it. God didn't tell you that that's who you are. God told you that you are XYZ. You are a mighty woman. You are a prophetess. You are a great mom. Or whatever it is God told you. He didn't tell you that this is who you are. You told yourself that. Or you allowed and agreed to what the enemy has been feeding you. So you got to get to a point where that's not who you are. And when you do, that's when you're going to fly. That's when you're going to soar. That's when everything starts to take off. Because God is like, I want to open up the door for you. I want to take you to this next place. But how can I take you to where I'm trying to take you if you don't even believe? I'm calling you to nations, to people. I'm calling you to help free people who are broken and help those people who are sick and heal, raise people from the dead or whatever God is telling you to do. How are you going to operate and do that if you don't even believe it? If you let the comparison and then you looking around and looking at everybody else instead of just being who you are called to be. So in that, the soaring happened once I broke free. Once it was access granted. Once I started to see that I was unusual. I was different. It's who God created me to be. So in that, I heard him say, comparison is the enemy of calling. You can't fulfill God's purpose for you when you are comparing yourself to someone else. And it's so true. Because right now, we've been talking about spiritual gifts and everything. But there are so many people who are about to rise up and just be, look, y'all. If you can break yourself out of this comparison or whatever prison you put yourself in, the next level is inevitable. It's as if the access granted was like you're ready to go. You can get to the next place. You can get to the next level. So whatever prison you wrote in the comments, or if you're on YouTube and you watch it later, tonight, tomorrow, right now when we get off, pray and break yourself out of that prison. So I'm going to go in the word just because we've been talking about spiritual gifts lately. Romans 12, 4 through 8. It says, for I say, through the grace given to me, to everyone who is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, as God has dealt to each one a measure of faith. For as we have many members in one body, but all the members do not have the same function. So for those of you, when it comes to comparison, everybody's different. You're meant to be different. You're meant to flow the way that you do, speak the way that you do, talk the way that you do. I say this all the time. I say I'm like Moses a lot. And you know how Moses said that he had a speech impediment. But it was never confirmed that he really had a speech impediment. It was that he, in his brain, thought that he did. When really, he probably didn't. So sometimes we think these things of ourselves. We speak these things over ourselves. And it's not even true. So what is it that you speak over yourself, you say you have, you think you do? More than likely, other people don't even see it. It's just in your brain. It's just in your head. So We, being many, are one body in Christ, and individually members of one another, having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us. Let us use them. If prophecy, let us prophesy in proportion to our faith or ministry. Let us use it in our ministering. He who teaches in teaching, he who exhorts in exhortation, he who gives with liberality, he who leads with diligence, he who shows mercy with cheerfulness. And this is where we are right now, y'all. We got to get to a place where we are okay with being who God created us to be. Break free from the comparison. I'm telling y'all, this word is a right now word. If you want to get to that next place God been showing you, and telling you and speaking to you, comparison. If you on here, I already know. If you are watching this, then you saw the title and you know that it was something that you were dealing with. Logged off from my business page and your live is on just so to connect my personal one, and you see the first live that pops up. Hey Kimberly, how's it going? We're just talking about the spirit of, the prison of comparison. Where God is saying right now, let's say you have a business, you compare your business to somebody else. You compare all of these things, but God is like, I'm trying to do something in you. Y'all, I'm telling you, this right here is the breakthrough. Getting this, taking care of this, doing this deep work, this is the breakthrough right here. Because I can feel, when I talked about unusual acceleration, it's as if my gifts got stirred up in a new way. A whole new way. Like, never before. Never before. Because I broke free from that prison of comparison that was trying to keep me bound and hold me back. So, like I said, I gotta go get my son. I told myself I would try to keep these words a little bit shorter so that other people who watch the replay, it won't be as long for them to watch it. But what is it for you tonight? Pray into that and really break yourself out of it, because there were so many believers in that prison just stuck. 20 years, 30 year sentence that we put ourselves in. So y'all, I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna get my son. I was late last time. I don't know if y'all watched the other prophetic word, but I was late picking my son up. But I'm usually in prayer before I go on. Sometimes it goes a little late. But whatever that prison is for you, today is the day to break out of it. So I'm gonna pray. So Father God, we come to you today, Lord. Lord, I pray over every single person who is watching the live right now or who will watch the replay, Lord. I pray that they begin to rise up and decide to open their mouth to break free from the prison that they have put themselves in, Lord. Lord, I pray that they begin to receive the keys that they need to unlock the doors for themselves. I literally see hands going around it with the keys. Lord, I pray that you begin to show them the keys that they need to unlock the doors and come out of those prisons that they put themselves in, that you begin to renew their mind and show them that they can step out of this prison, that they are not stuck in this prison, that they should not need to stay where they are, that they begin to believe and have faith that they are stronger and wiser and better, that they are who you created them to be. And I literally see this vision of people with keys going around the jail cells unlocking it. It's a whole group of people who are coming out of these jail cells. Lord, I pray that this word, even on YouTube, that it spreads and gets to people who need to come out of the jail cells, Lord. I pray that they begin to believe in the gifts and what you placed inside of them, that the enemy has been trying to keep them bound and stuck and lost and confused. But today is a day where they begin to believe and trust in the new that you are doing in their lives and the lives around them, Lord. So right now in this vision, y'all, I literally see just a whole line of people who are waiting to get that access granted. And everybody's putting the hoodies on, y'all. Everybody putting the hoodies on now. So just trust and believe that when you break free, the next time you go in prayer, break out of it. Use the word, I break comparison off of my life. I break the spirit of comparison off my life. I break it. Like, think about a stick. If I break it, it's broken. It's broken. Use the word, I break whatever off of my life, and watch it. Because I'm seeing in this vision that it's lines of people with access granted. I'm seeing it right now, and people are starting to fly. And people are just at this door walking out. I even see the guards coming because he just has to let... Y'all, these my visions. But this is how I look. The guards are coming because there's so many people that have to get let out because it's as if they put themselves in it. So, next time you pray, break it off of you. Because I see people coming out of it. And you're going to be able to flow and move the way that God created you to be. So, I got out, and Jesus, did I say, look, sorry y'all, because when I pray, the visions get to popping, so I get out of it just because I need to see what I say what I see. But I pray this bless everyone, that it really has unlocked or given you the key that you probably need, because I know this is for a lot of people. It's the one last thing that many people got to do to step into this newness. And everyone been hearing these words about acceleration. I know y'all been hearing it about God doing a new thing. You want to be a part of the new thing? Break comparison off of you. You want to be a part of the new thing? Break fear off of you. That's what's gonna help you step into that door that's already open, so that you can step into that next place that God has for you. I put the spirit of comparison and fear off my life. And then for you, Tierra, it's like right now I see you like playing on the piano. I don't know if you sing, but it's something in worship for you. Like as you begin to open your mouth and praise and worship, it's like I see you on a piano, like playing on the piano. It's you opening your mouth and like worshiping and just praising God, and it's sitting in His presence for you. Because even in that, it's like you rocking back and forth. I don't know what your relationship with God is right now, but it's in His presence that you're going to start to have peace and joy and just feel like an overwhelming, it's just peace that I keep hearing for you. Like a peace that will come when you sit in His presence and just really linger in that. So y'all, break it, break it, break it, break it. I see it, 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 I see it. I see lines of people coming out of it. But you got to do the work. You got to open up your mouth. You got to go forth. You got to say, I'm not going to stay stuck here. And trust me, you're going to begin to see things shift and change in your life. Worship my peace. Really are speaking to me. I'm going to chat. Let me chat. Lanice. Hey, Lanice. I don't even think I've ever met you, but I pray that it blessed you. If you missed the beginning, check out the replay. For worship with my peace, very true. I put the link to my link tree there, so if you guys want to stay connected, we have a lot of ladies who are really stepping into everything God has called them to do. Join the communities, YouTube, Facebook. There's a lot in that link tree that God is really shifting and moving, and so much more to come. Trust me, He's doing quick work in many people. So y'all, I'm gonna go grab my boy. Pray this has blessed everyone. If you watch the replay, write replay, and I'll be back next week for whatever God gives me.